This is again one pair that, you know, that is so classy and has such a crazy value attached to it. And because of the price point, this works like a, like bringing all the different labels and all the different people from our society together. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Street Sense, and this is the fourth episode of our podcast, the Gabfest. And as you guys can already see, today's topic is gonna be Vans. Now, before we move forward, and as we always do, drip of the day. And what I'm wearing today, guys, is super special to me. You'll know why. So, what I'm wearing above is a t-shirt from Urban Dance Camp. And Urban Dance Camp is basically the most prestigious dance camp of the world. Why the fuck am I actually wearing this? Is because I'm a graduate out of this camp. If you guys actually don't know, so I was like a professional choreographer for like a brief period of time in my life, which was like more of like 5 odd years or so. That's that. So this is like super special to me. This is like kind of kicking in nostalgic feeling to me. And underneath is again a piece of clothing for from my dancing days. These are the sweatpants from GC Clothing. Again, GCs were like the biggest thing back in the day for us, for especially the Delhi circuit. GC stands for Gaurav and Chandni. They were like a dancing duo, and for sure, like the best in the league as far as duos are concerned. Now they are no longer together, and that's like their own way. But individually, also like they are killing it in the game. Gaurav is a rapper now, and he was amongst the finalists of this show on MTV, which was Hustle, which was all about rapping. And Chandni is doing her own bits in her dancing career, with and both of them are doing great. But this is a piece from the time when everything was in place and they were all together. So what I'm wearing today is super special to me because this is how I actually started my whole career off, and this is how I actually got into the whole street culture, because like dancing, especially the whole urban and street to it, like hip hop and everything, goes hand in hand with the whole street culture. So this is how I actually entered this whole space. That's that, and I feel like super nostalgic today. Uh, yes, guys. So that's that. Cutting all that out, let's quickly head over to words are like the topic of the day, which is Vans. Now, what can I say about this brand, man? According to me, for sure, Vans as a brand as a whole is like the market leader of any legacy or of any year. Like that's my personal perspective. I'll explain you why I think so on those lines, but that's what I personally feel. Basically, the idea behind any silhouette that Vans drop is basically Vans are sneakers for skaters. In the most simple words, sneakers for skaters. That's what Vans are. But uh, since their inception, since the time they've actually started off, they've created a legacy wherein Vans is a pair that fits for each and every one. It doesn't matter if you are a skater, it doesn't matter if you are a dancer, and it doesn't matter if you are a person from the corporate world, it doesn't matter if you are a doctor, even a politician for that matter. Because I personally have seen quite a few politicians rocking at least the slip-ons. uh, so that's that. So Vans is a brand which fits for each and every one. It doesn't matter from which industry you are, what's your age group, where you live. Vans is the most versatile brand out there, hands down. Like, if I could, this is like a mic drop. Uh, Again, now why do I feel that they are the market leaders in all the aspects? Is because we'll every now and then we'll see, uh, you know, comparisons happening with Jordans and Yeezys, or with Nike and Adidas, or with the Dazzler brothers, Adidas versus Puma, and every other other sort of competitions and comparisons happening every now and then. But no one tries to hit up Vans. I have never, like, personally, I've never really heard of any sort of comparison happening as far as sneakers or silhouettes are concerned with Vans. So, for what all reason is because, you know, there is no such competition that Vans really has in market, and since the time they've started, there has never been any competition that can stand toe to toe with a brand like theirs and challenge not just their designs and their silhouettes but their legacy as a whole. So before we move forward and before I start talking about, more on the perspective base, let's just quickly have like a brush over their history from their official site, as they say. So 1996 is the time when the Doran brothers actually started this whole thing off. And back in the day, it was known as Van Doren Rubber Company. So Van Doren brothers, one was Paul, another one was Jim. 66 is when they started off this brand. Then, as they say, the first day itself they got 12 customer, and back in the day it was more of like a made to order pieces. So morning they got all these orders, and by the afternoon they shipped it. So like quick turnaround time. Then Vans came up with their deck shoes, which back in the day were called the hash 44, as they say, but I'm assuming that's style 44, which are known as the authentics now today. So from 66 itself, they started building up things which are still known to us today. And since their inception itself, they came up with a silhouette which is known to us today as well. If we check out the legacy of Nike or Adidas also, we would love their initial few pairs because that's how they started their whole journey with. But we still don't really respect them as much as we probably do say Air Maxes for them, because Air Max is something that defined Nike's legacy. But like Vans were like in the zone since day one. Then early 70s were like the time when they were designing the thing for skaters only, and they had all this idea of having rubber soles and everything. But in early 70s, skaters actually started giving attention to Vans. That's when this happened. Then in 76, style 95 happened, which we know as the era. Uh, and in 76 itself, they came up with this logo of Off the Walls. So this logo actually happened in 76. Then was the breakthrough, man. In 77, they came up with style 36 that we today know as Vans Old Schools. This is not the OG colorway. The OG one is like an all black one with a white strap and white outsole and midsole. But man, this is hands down one of the most beautiful silhouettes out there, and this is something that's not gonna leave market anytime. Like, in the type of time we are living today, in this whole corona situation, and many other problems rising from here and there, so it might actually happen that earth might die, but this silhouette won't, man. For sure. I know this sounds pretty funny, and this is a super beaten up pair. This is my personal one, and I love to rock these every now and then. But this pair is not leaving the market anytime. Like, there's gonna be thousands of brands that gonna come down. There's gonna be thousands of the brands that gonna like just leave the market out of whatsoever reasons. But no matter what happens, economy crashes, pandemics, tsunamis, whatsoever happens, old schools won't leave the space. The idea was basically, so Paul Van Doren came up with this whole jazz stripe. This is known as jazz stripe. How Nike has a swoosh. This is what they came up with, and so we'll talk about later how this actually defined the custom culture also. But this became the thing back in the day also, and it is for sure the thing today as well. Like for that matter, we won't talk about like the latest drop that happened in India on 29th of February. But I think about a year and a half back, they had a drop in at Veg Non-Veg. They did some restocks of the classic old schools, the black ones, and those were sold out like within the first day itself, like gone, like vanished. Me and my friend were lucky enough to get hands on one pair each for us, but those vanished within a day. So when there are comparisons happening saying Yeezys vanished say within 4 hours, or Jordan ones or Jordan what the fours dropped, and those vanished between within 4 hours. This is another pair wherein they don't even do a lot of PR. They just say that these are gonna drop at XYZ date, and people just go bonkers for these. This is not a super expensive pair. This only sells out because of the type of pair this is, the type of silhouette this is. No hype attached to it. It is just super utility driven and such a universal color, man. It's such a universal pair, man, for that matter. So that happened. Then another style 98 happened to be launched back in the day, which was specifically made with the help of skateboarders, not just for skateboarders, but with the help of skateboarders and BMX riders, which are known as basically the classic slip-ons. These ones, I'm not really sure that whether these are the classic ones or not, but these are a little more premium ones because I think the classic ones retail at in India they retail at 2800, and these are for 3500. Again, not super expensive, but premium than the classic ones. Next up, moving forward, was Style 38 that dropped in 78, which were actually the skate highs. So again, a super beautiful pair, man. This again is my personal pair. So I don't know why I keep on saying that. Everything that you see over here is a personal pair to me. So Vans skate highs is like a pair to me which I can rock anywhere and everywhere. So if I know there's gonna be an event or a meetup or a space or a party wherein most of the people are gonna rock, say Travis Scott's or Off Whites or any other hyped up stuff, I have the balls to rock these because I know the value of these sneakers and I know how I can pair this up. This is such a universal colorway to me only, like the triple black. So I can rock this thing with anything and everything. I don't really have to think twice before wearing this. So whenever I'm confused and whenever I just don't feel like thinking a lot about what sort of an outfit I should go for, or how to pair up any XYZ sneaker with an XYZ outfit, I just grab anything from the closet and rock these. I just never go wrong with these. So again, like I don't know, man. So 78 again as they drop, like since 66, each and every silhouette that we are seeing as of now is there in the market still and super strong, going super strong. Then happened 82, which was again like so in 82, as they say, the classic slip-ons got international attention as it was worn by Sean Penn in the film Fast Times Ridgemont. So I don't really know whether this is gonna be like something that is gonna be relevant for our audience, but yeah, moving forward, let's just quickly move forward and head over to one of the most important years for Vans, which was 96, the year when I was also born. So yeah, lucky me though. But jokes aside, why 96 became a super important year for Vans was that's when they had a launch of a long term collaboration with Supreme, the Supreme, like the way we say it. Supreme, again, a brand that revolved around the skate culture of New York, and Vans again being dedicated towards the whole skate culture. Finally, these two brands who were so heavily working towards their culture just came in together and dropped pieces which are like, even today, if someone can cop a 96 drop of Supreme X Vans, I am sure that it's gonna be super expensive. Super expensive. Hands down, there is no chance that anyone can find a DS pair. But even a used pair would be super expensive because that is something that blew up the market. This was like the collaboration was not something super big, but it was like a more sort of a co-branding for the old schools. But it blew up for both of these brands, especially because of the type of aura that Supreme was creating back in the day. It gave a major mileage to Vans. Then 97 happened, the Triple Crown series, and then they kept on like Vans is a pair that kept on featuring in a lot of music videos. That's that, and a lot of like even today we'll see every other celebrity rocking this pair, and it's more of like all these pop stars like be it Chris Brown, Tyga, Wiz Khalifa, DJ Khaled, Justin Bieber, One Direction, every other pop star, pop artist that you can think of who is still in the scene or who has like drowned since the ages, they have rocked old schools. Like Wiz Khalifa, you'll see him wearing only and only old schools, especially the skate highs for that matter. You'll see him wearing mostly old schools. And Chris Brown and Tyga has had like major chunk of their life when they used to rock only and only Vans. Chris Brown being one of the biggest inspirations for me as well. Since the time I actually was like starting my professional career as a choreographer and as a dancer, he was like a crazy influence for me because of his music, because of his dancing skills, because of his acting skills as well. Then him actually producing and creating such crazy you know music videos and all of that. And the fact is that in most of his videos and in most of his gigs, be it live events, live shows, whatever he might be doing, he would rock Vans. That's when I started connecting myself with this brand, and by connecting I mean reading more about it, learning more about it, trying to cop this pair, because the time I started that off, Vans was not in the scene. uh, when I started dancing, I think after an year and a half, Vans came to India. So I was like super attached to it even before they dropped in India. As soon as they dropped, I was like, I got to get my hands on these. So the first pair that I got were the blue authentic ones, and the next pair that I actually got my hands on was from their first store that happened to open in, I think, either in Saket or one of the malls in Vasant Kunj. And this was the pair. This is one of the most beautiful pairs that I have. And by I have, I mean, like for me, this is a grail because OTW collection, not a super hyped up pair, retailed at 6,000 only. But back in the day, this was like the thing for me because Vans, I think it was the most expensive shoe back in the day in their store, and this with, like, while I wore this, I did like a lot of stage shows and everything as I used to dance. But this was the grail for me because Vans was the thing for some, for a guy who used to idolize Chris Brown, and Chris Brown used to wear this. Hence, this became the most important shoe for me. It still is. Like, I actually ruined the laces that came up with these ones. That's why I have the off-white ones in place. So that's that. And no matter what happens, man, people might hate on me saying that these are just bullshit pair or whatever. But to me, these are grails, and these gonna stay with me. And these gonna stay inside this trophy case, which is actually a soul chest. But this gonna stay with me, and this gonna stay inside the soul chest, and I'm gonna take care of these beauties till the end of me, at least, for sure. So basically, all these these pop artists, every other person is someone like you'll see them rocking these, and they don't really, again, they also don't really have to think twice before wearing these. Be it like they must be wearing shorts or track pants or whatever they might be rocking, they can carry Vans with it. And I've seen some of the celebrities walking red carpet in Vans. They have carried Vans so well with some of the most beautiful pairs of their clothing, proper formals, proper dresses from Gucci's, Louis Vuitton's. Like, even Brad Pitt, I saw wearing a super expensive suit, and he was wearing in one of his pictures he was wearing brogues or double monk straps, and the next picture with the same outfit he was wearing, I think, either the slip-ons or the old schools. I don't really remember, but I've seen him rocking that same outfit with formals as well, and as well as Vans. So now the whole, why is it so that they have been able to create this sort of a legacy? We can't really comment because this is something that they have lived. But the difference is that, say, there are Yeezy lovers and then there are Jordan lovers. There are hardcore Yeezy lovers who would hate on even touching a Nike Jordan, and likewise, it's the other way around as well. But there is not a single person in this world who would say that yes, they are sneaker lovers or sneaker heads, and they would deny that they have never get their hands on Vans. So Vans is one brand that everyone has got their hands on at one point in time, and Vans is one brand that everyone loves to have in their closet. Like, even like as of now, if you guys can see, I've got five pairs right over here. Like, most of my pairs are mostly kept in this at the studio space, which is something that I can't really access because of this whole curfew situation. But even at my place, I have five pairs of Vans with me. So that's that. I'm really sorry for this thing. I don't know why this is happening to me, but I'm sure, don't stress out on this. This is not corona. Yeah. So this is one way of seeing it. So every person in this world who probably claims that they are a sneakerhead, they would rock these. And then another thing also that we can probably have a perspective around is, mostly people say that if they are rocking, say, Adidas, they would not like to wear a piece of footwear which is from Nike. Or if they are wearing Nikes, they would not prefer wearing something that is from Adidas. So it's like you don't carry competitive brands together. But even if they wear, say, Adidas joggers and an Adidas t-shirt, but they don't feel like wearing something on feet which is from Adidas, Vans is the thing. Vans is the deal, man. For sure, Vans is the deal. I've seen a lot of people rocking Adidas tracks like track windbreakers and track pants with these old schools. So That's again one way of seeing it. So people are not hesitant in pairing up Vans with anything, and they pair it up with anything and everything. Whatever you can actually think of, they pair it up with anything and everything. That's basically the strength of Vans. That is something what Vans has created. And the other thing that we can actually talk about again is that a lot of Yeezys come and go. There are different colorways that drop and they vanish eventually with time. Likewise, it happens for Jordans also. So there is a set hype that is attached to, you know, with their colorways and with their silhouettes for a very brief period of time. Say, for example, Yeezys, the hype surrounds a specific colorway for about a month or two. Like, Turtle Love still have a crazy hype with them, but they are not a part of the market. They are not a part of the gimmick even today. They were a part of the gimmicks like 3 years ago. That was the thing, 3 or 4 years ago, whatever it was. But Vans is like the king of the jungle, man. It is always in trend. It always has a crazy value attached to it. I won't say hype, but I would say value attached to it, because even if today they drop it at any of the stores, be it their retail chains or be it with the veg, non-veg and super kicks, they vanish like anything, man. One is, of course, the price point. It's not super expensive. The other is, the utility and the versatility of the sneaker. Because I've seen the drop that happened on 29th of February, which was like in ways a comeback for Vans in India. Pieces were like vanishing within snaps at Superkicks store. So I was there at Superkicks, and that was the day that they actually launched their store in Delhi. I was there with them, and Vans was a pair which was like vanishing within like snaps. So at one point in time there are like 10 pairs. The other second it's like only 5 pairs left. And that was the time when I was like, no man, I gotta get my hands on slip-ons. So I got one pair of slip-ons there and then. So that's that. So that's also one way of seeing it as to what's the type of culture and what's the type of value Vans as a brand has curated. Now, quickly moving towards the Indian market and the responses for Vans and the value of Vans that India actually holds. I would just say again, it is a super big market, and especially for a brand like Vans, which is having a price point which does not exceed really for more than like 5 grand for a very good pair even. This is the best market for Vans. Super versatile sneakers, so anyone and everyone can cop these. Then super comfortable, vulcanized soles, and what else? Especially as far as the demographics are also concerned, and the geography wise also, this is a pair that can work in most of the terrains and in most of the seasons. So we can't really go, no one can really go wrong with these, and especially in an economy like ours wherein people like to buy one pair and beat the hell out of them for once and then get another pair. And I'm not talking about sneakerheads, please don't hate me for that. I'm talking about the regular people of India. So they like to cop a pair, beat the hell out of it, and then move on to another pair. So when you only have one pair and you would like to rock it anywhere and everywhere, then it's always better to have a super versatile sneaker. And as we've talked all the way through this entire video, there's nothing more versatile than Vans, for sure. Especially the slip-ons or the old schools, like this is not something that we can go wrong with. Anyone can go wrong with. So for Vans, it's like a crazy market. And after say about a year and a half or 2 years, Vans has actually made a comeback and super fucking strong. Wherein like initially the drop was for with all their classic pairs, the classic silhouettes, old schools, that they dropped at Veg Non-Veg Super Kicks, their online portals and their retail stores here and there as well. But what we can actually expect out of Vans is to do something super crazy and super amazing for Indian market as a whole. And there are some amazing rumors revolving around the brand that, of course, I would not like to discuss as yet, and would leave it, with the brand as to whenever they would like it to get out there in the market. But there are some crazy drops that are expected out of Vans. And other thing is like, so now basically, if you guys don't know, Vans comes under Cravitex brands, and Cravitex is something that's owned by RK Batra, and Fila is also a part of the the same umbrella label for India. So coming under a label like Cravitex and being you know headed by someone like RK Batra who has such a crazy experience, like not taking away anything away from the previous franchisee owners, the master franchisee owners, or the brand owners as a whole for India, not taking that away from anyone. But coming under Cravitex again is gonna be a big leap for Vans as a whole, because the way Fila has also grown since like last few years, wherein Fila was able to like curate these heritage stores in Bangalore, Mumbai, and Delhi, and then have most of their classic silhouettes come back to life. Mind blowers, sorry, mind blowers and disruptors, and all these classic heritage pairs, their vintage pairs come back to life and give. So we can't really deny the fact that Fila for a very long period of time was not out there in the market. I won't use any other harsh word, but what was not really out there in the market. But since like last few years, and with most of their drops, they have like killed it in the game, and it has become the talk of the town for most of the sneakerheads. And again, so coming under that type of a team, that type of a brand, that type of a label, we can't expect anything but greatness, as far as uh, this whole label is concerned, this whole brand is concerned, and especially for Indian market. Because no matter what, from my perspective, personally, I feel Vans is the best thing that can happen for Indian market as far as sneakers are concerned. Again, not taking away from any other brand, but considering that such a versatile sneaker, the price point being so comfortable for most of us, again, there's nothing that can go wrong with this silhouette. And other thing also, which I actually forgot to talk about, was the custom culture that Vans actually had. So having said that, Vans was like one of the few pairs that people started customizing. And since this was a part of street culture, and street is all about your personal representation, so back in the day, skaters and other people also used to scribble down their midsoles. I'll pick up this pair. So they used to scribble down over here and under the jazz strip and everything. So, and have like their crew logos and crew name written all over, or their personal designs happening all over the place. So Vans is a pair which you can customize at a very crazy level if you have that sort of a creativity. Like for that matter, I saw, basically, if you guys don't know, one concept of customizing Jordan 1s got super hyped up, which was like getting a uh, zip done with the highs, so that you can remove the zip and make those lows, which I think people did a lot with UNC to Chicago colorway and other multi colorways. So the idea was you can make those lows also, or you can add other ankle highs also to it. So it's not just one single colorway that you could have, but you could change it to UNC to Chicago also. So not just UNC you wear, or not just Chicago colorway you wear, but you can mix and match and do all that bit also. And that same custom I actually saw happening in India with Vans skate highs, which was done by I think Rahul, yeah, Rahul Chabadia, and it looked super dope. At least to me, it looked super dope. So this as a silhouette as a whole is like super versatile, not just to wear but also to customize. And if you have creativity, then you can do anything and everything with these pairs basically. Now quickly again moving forward, let's just talk about what all pairs we have over here, even though we've had done it. These are I think the premium slip-ons. This is still a brand new pair to me. This is a dead stock pair to me. I haven't really worn these. So these are the slip-ons. These are the checkered old schools. Then these are skate highs. Underneath are the OTW collection, the red ones. And then over here we have this vulcanized pair. So I personally don't really know what is this is called, but this is something that I called one of my uncle from US to get this pair for me, because as a silhouette and as a basically the whole structure of this sneaker, it's very different as far as Vans are concerned. So I really love this one. That's why I called these four. So these are the pairs that I have as of now with me, and these are the pairs that, if given a chance, and if there is any sort of a situation wherein say one pair is supposed to be left over with me, I would keep either these skate highs or these old schools, or maybe not these old schools but the classic colorway. So why? Because again, super versatile, man. And this Vans as a brand is like the king of the jungle, man. No one likes to have a feud with it. You would never see brands trying to uh, compare anything with a label like Vans. And as far as again India is concerned, it's a fucking huge market. And for Vans, it's the thing, it's the deal to crack it in. The only thing is how big it can actually go, because sky is not the limit, man. Even sky is not the limit for a brand like Vans to kill it in Indian market, and not just target us as sneakerheads, but each and everyone out there who's probably a student, a doctor, uh, you know a guy from the corporate world or whatsoever. That's the whole thing. And one more thing that I genuinely again forgot, I'm really sorry for that. This is again one pair that, you know, that is so classy and has such a crazy value attached to it. And because of the price point, this works like a, like bringing all the different labels and all the different people from our society together, because you can see a student also wearing this, you can see an intern also wearing it who's probably paid just say 10,000 bucks a month, and you can see even the CEO of one of the biggest labels you can probably think of wearing this. I actually saw Elon Musk rocking Vans. So Elon Musk wearing Vans old schools or Vans slip-ons, and then me also, I won't even go towards the interns, but me also being able to rock the same pair, it's a great deal, man. Elon Musk being one of the greatest monetary wise millionaires and the greatest personalities out there, the greatest brains out there, and me being able to share something similar to him, it's a great deal, man. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. That's that. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I'm not really sure as to what's the type of content you guys are probably expecting as yet, and because it's just the beginning, this is just the fourth episode. But the way people are responding towards it, there are not a lot of people who are watching this as of now. I'll be completely honest with it. and you guys can actually check out the number of views also the same. But all the people who are watching these episodes are enjoying these videos and are enjoying the type of content that I'm portraying. So eventually the idea is, even if it's only one person who's able to gain anything out of these videos, the job is pretty much done for us. Because the idea behind Street Sense as a label, as a brand, is again to empower and educate all you guys with the right information and right education, and talk about things which are not really talked about, at least in the sneaker world. In India, I generally don't see a lot of people talking about Vans or other brands also, that eventually in my other episodes I'll talk about. Why? Because most of us are actually moving only and only around hype, and that is something that we want to change. We don't want to run away from hype, and we don't want people to run away from hype, but we want people to appreciate something that's, personally speaking, way better and way more beautiful than any other hyped piece out there. So that's that, man. And on that note itself, I'll see you guys super soon. If you guys are new over here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and do let me know whatever you think about this video. And until next time, take care, guys.